Well, I could talk to you all day, Marcia. There's so much richness in this conversation, so much advice. Before we go, I'd like to switch gears for a special segment we call the Collective Quickfire. I've
Oh
got
no.
five oh, you got this. You got this. So I've got five rapid fire questions to get some valuable insights here before we end. My first question is, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Wow. I worked one of my first jobs. I worked for this gentleman. Maybe he's helped me be a risk taker and he didn't know it. And he told me he was laid off or moving into another role or something. And I was like horrified for him because I was just right out of college. And he said, no, it's totally fine. He goes, this is, the job of every manager and every leader should be to work themselves out of a job.
Mm, yes.
And I
Love
have
that.
taken that with me, and I'm like, yeah, your job is to empower people to be the best they can be so that if you weren't here, they'd be fine.
Yes. I love that. As a CMO, what do you typically outsource versus keep in-house?
You're not going to want me to tell you this probably, but I think that things that are critical to the business, that are business ideas, need to stay in house.
Yeah.
I think things that are trees for the forest, that a partner can bring insight because you're too close to it, should be outsourced.
Makes sense to me. What's more important to you? Short-term results or long-term investment in the brand?
Everybody wants both, and you can have both, so I'll say both.
Okay, fair enough. How do you, Marcia, stay updated with the latest trends and developments in health marketing? What are the different sources that you turn to?
I stay on top of a lot of the publications that do a lot of great work, and I listen to great, people talking about what they're up to. I have a great network of people who I get together with, and we hash through what's good, bad, and ugly, and what's changing and evolving. So, I think that I stay abreast of things through a variety of ways.
Yeah, I think in that CMO role in particular, I think it's really critical to have that group of peers that you can lean on, who are facing similar challenges, have gone through similar things, and just be able to talk through some of that. I think that's really important. What advice do you have for how to select the right external creative partner?
Hmm, that's a good question. Um, I have the advice that you should actually assume that everybody can do the work. I think that people spend too much time, trying to, dissect who can do the work better. I think in this day and age, all of our creative partners, whether it be PR or creative agencies, they all really should be able to do the work. So assume that positive intent. They're all going to be able to do the work and then get down to brass tacks of a relationship. Who is
Yes.
going to be there when the shit hits the fan? Because it's gonna.
Yep.
And who's going to be there with you helping to solve it? And those are the best partners. I've had some fabulous ones. You guys have definitely been one of them where, you're going to have crisis. And you want to make sure the people that are in that crisis with you, that you like them, that you respect them, and that they're going to go to the mat with you. And I think if you can pick a partner that way and assume the work is going to come, that's
Yeah.
probably my best advice.
Yeah, and the ability to respectfully disagree with each other on both sides of the table, that candor, right? Because if you are in a crisis, or there's a lot sort of on the line, you need to be looking at all angles, and you don't want to surround yourself with a
Yeah,
partner that's just going to be a yes person and just agree
not at
with
all.
the direction
And
that
it
you're
has
laying out.
really nothing to do with size. There used to be you only want to work with big agencies. I'm like, well, a lot of the big agency brains went and started small agencies on their own,
Absolutely.
and so I would not look at that at all. I'd only look at, their book and their work, of course, but that's table stakes. And then look at the relationship that you have with them, the mutual respect that you have, and ask them the question, when something goes wrong, because it will, how do you
Yep.
handle that?
Yep. Love that. Great advice. Well, this has been really fun, Marcia. Always a pleasure getting to spend time with you. Thanks for doing this with me today. How can listeners get in touch with you?
Probably easiest way is on LinkedIn.
Excellent. Look for Marcia Miller on LinkedIn. As usual, the Collective dished out some pretty great insights today. If you're feeling inspired, do us a favor and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for being part of the Health Marketing Collective, where strong leadership meets marketing excellence, because the future of healthcare depends on it. See you next time.